Welcome to Film Bluffs, a place for free-range, non-GMO dog water opinions. So come on in, take a seat, and let's make fun of the kid with no internet.
Welcome back to Not Scared by Scared.
So I know this breaks the rule, but this might be our worst episode yet.
And we're done. Fucking Christ, I keep dropping
Trace,
shit.
what did we watch this week?
Oh, fuck if I know.
We're just going right into it. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm Marshall.
we're doing it. Alrighty. As you well know, even though I think we've taken a week or two off. I don't know. We haven't talked about it as this is being recorded.
In 17 years.
God. So as we discussed last time, we watched Rango, the Lizard Man. So we're opening on some sick birds, talking about our brave hero Johnny Depp in a lizard costume. Rango is this chameleon who just wants to be a performer, but he finds himself trapped in some western hijinks. After being thrown from the back of a car in his little tank, Rango finds himself in this nice little spot of Dirt Town, a place where water is currency, and this town ain't got none of it. Beans, a charming little lizard with a coma-like episodes, has found out that the town done plumb ran out of water. Meanwhile, Rango has won over the town with his tales of grandeur and killing a hawk on accident, which makes him the undisputed sheriff of this here town. When the town bank is robbed of all its water, Rango puts together a posse to hunt down the thieves and get the jug of water back. And after a long fighting chasing scene, they find out that this jug has been emptied. Beans, and it confirms what Beans has been seeing all along in the desert. Someone has been dumping out all the water. The gang brings the criminals back, and Rango confronts the mayor about the missing water and killing the banker. Rango makes a nice little speech to the mob forming at his doorstep when Rattlesnake Jake slithers in and shakes Rango up a bit, forcing him to confess that he's no hero. Rango exiles himself, and he travels through the night, meeting the spirit of the West, and receiving some earth-shattering advice to be a hero, regardless of his past, and regardless of what everybody else thinks. You can be a hero if you want to be. Rango returns to Dirt Town with an army and a plan. He calls Rattlesnake Jake out at high noon with a single bullet in his revolver. Rango's army breaks the pipes under the ground, causing the water to flow free, while the others fly in a formation of a hawk so they can scare Jake. Rango and Beans are thrown into the bank to drown in the water after Rattlesnake Jake discovers this treachery of his plan, but Rango's got a plan B. They break out, and water is sent everywhere, causing everybody to fly into the road, and Rattlesnake Jake, having learned to respect Rango, takes the mayor, and he runs out. Oh, he slithers. He doesn't run. He's a snake. He slithers out of town with him. With the corruption and the tyranny gone, Dirt Town is left to thrive with water once more. Perhaps Water Town?
Whoa.
At least until the humans inevitably come and fix the broken pipes, and they're probably going to be fucked again. But until then, everyone lives happily ever after. Yes,
Yeah.
Jobe.
Right off the bat, the line that's been playing in my head all day, and I don't know why, is when he's at the bank giving his speech, and he's like, I say you come up and think, well, maybe I get myself a sweet sip of water. And he's doing that whole spiel. He's like, and then we'd be out of water. And then where would we be?
He's just
We'd be
taking sips and
thirsty.
sips of water as this is going on.
Thirsty.
I'd also
I feel
like
like-
to point out that we are in the middle of recording, and our wonderful producer and editor is sending me videos on TikTok.
Rango was one of those movies I watched when I was
Rango.
a lot younger. When it not when it first came out. When it first came out, like on TV, and your dad like DVR'd it, right? And you're like, oh my god, let's watch Rango. It's on, right? So I didn't understand what was going on in my little mind. So maybe this is, I don't know, 2012. I'd be what?
Young.
6? I just it didn't fully comprehend into my mind that I was watching an actual masterpiece, right? I watched it years later. I maybe cried the first time I watched it. It was with my producer, our producer, my wife. It was
No,
girlfriend, I think, at the time.
I did it.
But it was just Rango is like one of them westerns you can watch as a kid and adult, and you just have the same, just cathartic, wonderful experience. I don't know how to describe it, man. It's just good stuff. Trace,
I need to know, how old were you in 2012? Because you cannot have been 6. I know that's not true, but it stresses me out because I was a freshman in 2012.
okay, I'm what 24. Matt, I'm 24, right? Okay, in 2024.
Man, check birth certificate.
Get
So
the
12
Excel
years
sheet
ago,
out.
I'd be 12.
So you'd have been like
12.
7th grade.
I'm younger, so probably
Potentially
like 6th
12.
grade. Or 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That tracks. It's weird that we would have been in different schools at one point in our life.
I didn't
but
know
whatever.
you, and
Well,
we lived in
yeah.
different states.
Yeah,
Oh,
where
fuck.
do you live right now? What's your address?
Mm-hmm.
None of your business, dog.
None
Private
of your
information.
business.
Get a Yellow Books account, dog.
Anyway, back to the movie. I think this is a masterpiece. I'm gonna be real. I don't know when we watched it, Marshall, and I'm sure Jobe is probably there. That was the first time I've seen this. So this first time I ever watched this movie was about 2 years ago.
Sick. Back in the old Kellogg apartment. What a fucking trip that was. That was
Just
the
like the
first
cereal.
content house, you know?
It really was.
I see. I just remember that, like, because I was there for that viewing, but that viewing was years in the making.
God, that was so good.
2 years earlier, when we didn't live together, we would visit Trace, and Mars would be like, "What are we gonna do? Watch Rango?"
Much.
And I'll be like, "No, nobody wants to watch Rango."
And I was so indifferent about it because I'd never seen it before, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And Marshall's like, oh, we're watching Rango, and Joe immediately goes, no, we're not. And I was
Well,
like, I guess
also,
we're
there was
not.
like, it wasn't on a good streaming service. It was on like Vudu or Sling or some shit like that for the longest time.
True.
And then I remember, because when I watched it again with Matt, because that's when it came out on Hulu, and I'm like, you have Hulu. We got to watch it. It's now on Netflix
Hell
as
yeah.
of today.
Yeah, which sucks because I'm pretty sure I rented this. Because I didn't know, I didn't have whatever else it was on.
It just got on Netflix today.
No, it was been on Netflix like a couple
Is it
weeks.
really?
I watched it on Netflix, yeah. And maybe a couple
No, they
months.
just took it off.
Did they really? I swear I watched it
All
on
I'm saying is
Netflix.
I'm not seeing anything. No. I didn't actually rent it. I started a free trial subscription for Paramount Plus on Amazon.
No, we watched it on Paramount Plus. I lied. That sounds right. I'm a dirty liar.
Stupid man. And
See-
you're dumb too.
Everybody stop.
Okay.
We're done.
and end
Is that easy? I can make a bit just stop just like that?
No, you can't. Marshall has this weird
See-
power. I don't know.
Rango, the way that they made this fucking movie, they didn't just write a script, put voice actors in. No, they said get Johnny Depp in here and let him act out, and then we'll give him the lines and he'll just go buck wild, right? Very you just do what you need to do. You gotta feel the energy in the room. And I feel like it's one of those where it's an animated movie, but even if you didn't know it was animated, like if you looked at it from a distance, your eyes just squinted, it's a little blurry. You'd be like, wow, that's a live action movie with lizards, right? Probably not. But you have a case for it. I'm just saying. The way these characters talk to each other and interact with each other, it's just
so lifelike.
It's just good. You know, it feels I don't know, I'm not gonna say it feels
good.
real, but they don't feel stiff. It feels lived.
This is the first time Marshall has ever seen a fucking chameleon. And he lost his fucking mind.
I still don't believe that he's a chameleon.
Do you think Johnny Depp knew when he made this movie that years later his biggest fans would be watching it and in their little apartment together?
No.
Me too. So I've been curious about this for a few days and I just haven't looked it up because I wanted this. I wanted the stupidity of me to be known on air. I don't know what animal the big family of people is. Are they moles?
I think they're mole rats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just genuinely didn't remember. I know like the old man looks mole-ish, but then they all look slightly different. So I was like, maybe.
You know
something
Rufus
else.
from Kim Possible?
Yeah.
Nakamura? That's them.
That's
Oh,
the
then we
kid.
have the great
Dude,
line.
man.
The entire family.
Fucking shout out to Kim Possible and Camp Wanna Weep that scared Marshall
Oh.
to his very core.
So today for dinner we had French dip sandwiches, and
Cool.
I had to tell Madison this, but when I was younger, my aunt made them for me for the first time, and she said French dip really fast with like a thick Midwestern accent, and I
French
thought
dip.
she said friendship, and I was like, oh shit, friendship sandwiches. I love it. What a great name. And I found out maybe sophomore year at Windows Dining Center that they were actually French dip, not friendship.
And that's really unfortunate because I love the imagery of Marshall
Don't tell.
walking into the kitchen going, "Hey man, can you make me a friendship sandwich?"
No. See, I'm picturing more like Madison is mad at him for whatever reason. He just holds out this greasy sandwich. And he's like,
Here.
friendship.
Enough of this.
Friend.
Banger lines. I take wide steps.
Stay out of my peripheral vision.
Peripheral vision.
It's okay. Madison will edit all that
Yep.
together so we say it at the same time. Right, Madison?
Oh,
not?
there's also
Oh,
the good one.
shit.
Hold on, where he's like, I'm communing with the spirits, are you? No, I'm molting. It means I'm ready to mate.
Oh, good to know.
Keep that in mind.
It's such a great movie. Can't believe Jobe scored it wrong. Jobe, go ahead and analyze this for us.
I mean,
Tell
the
us why
only
this
thing I
movie
really got
sucks.
for you. I mean, this is a movie made up of a lot of great imagery, but one thing that I thought was kind of neat in a let me write my book report that's due in 4 hours kind of way. So you remember the scene where he's all talking about, he's like, as long as that sign's up there, you got something to believe in, that sort of thing, and then it's immediately shot.
Yeah,
But the
Yeah.
funny
but it's
part
still up
is,
there.
it stays up the whole rest of the movie.
God,
I'm
Joe,
just
that's
like
so
Jobe.
good.
I noticed the thing Jobe noticed. I'm just as good.
I did it, and it's so much better now.
Dude, there's like 16 people out in the world
Marshall's
now going,
brain is-
holy shit, this side did stay up.
Yeah, for those not watching but just listening, Marshall's head is actively expanding right now.
God. And then he goes off into the desert to find the spirit of the West, which is Clint Eastwood, but not.
Okay,
But it
can we so
Wait,
so
wait.
yeah.
Danger
Yeah.
line. They need a hero, then be one.
That's a good
That's-
that you gotta be the hero you wanna be or you need. But can we so talking about the sheriff's side being shot up, that's clearly Rattlesnake Jake and his cool ass Gatling gun.
And his little mustache.
We gotta appreciate Rattlesnake Jake though, continuing the bit of Rango killing the Jenkins brothers.
Not only
Like,
that,
not-
but also agreeing that he's his brother.
Yeah, he's like he makes Rango do it himself. He's totally willing to live out this entire bit with Rango being his brother. And I
he
just
definitely says you didn't kill them Jenkins brothers. Like when he's got them all twisted up.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but up until then, like he's still like that's when he's like breaking Rango into confessing all of it. Up until that point, he's sitting there and he's like, it's still kind of just to Rango. It's like, you didn't kill those Jenkins brothers. And the rest of the town can't hear because this is a little aside that they're having. Sorry, I said a big word like aside, like Jobe would have. But I also noticed the sign was still up. So I feel like I get a little room to play there.
Oh yeah, you get a little bit of growth on the sides.
Man, there's nothing cooler than fucking with Jobe. It's the best.
Like
Wait,
The
no,
whole-
guys, stop.
no,
Okay,
listen.
Marshall, you go.
So the whole plot, it's not like a typical, because I feel like a lot of westerns are like, this guy wronged my family, and they go out and
Yeah.
shoot him, or it's already the badass outlaw. Look at Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid, or Outlaw Josie Wales, right? They're defined outlaws already. Rango is the story of someone who is currently charting his own adventure, right? He's trying to make it in this small world, but it's a big, open-ended question for him. Who is he? Rango isn't even his real name,
Rango.
right? Like, we don't know his name until he
True.
says, they ask him, what's your name? And then he adopts the
And
Rango
he's like,
persona.
Rango.
And then he becomes Rango. He goes through the hero's journey. The hero's journey.
The...
Shout out Spoons, number one sidekick.
Nah, dude, Spoons is great.
That wasn't at all unpleasant. But it's just he improvises so much, and at a certain point,
He's a performer.
when
yes.
does the performance end, and when does he actually become the hero? Right? You can make an argument and say, yeah, he becomes the hero at the very end when he talks to the Spirit of the West and comes back, right? But I feel like at some point he's already done, or he's trying to become the hero, even though that's a performance. He's still doing these heroic things, and he's making a name for himself, even if it is just a performance as the fictional Rango.
I would argue a little bit that it starts like
Of course you
after after the robbery of the bank, because like obviously he's still doing his whole thing. He's like, he finds them trying to rob the bank, and he's like, looks like you can't be digging here without a permit. Here you go. And he writes him up one because he's trying to be the sheriff. He's still performing it. But then afterwards he's like, oh shit, this is all my fault. I'll fix it. And I feel like that's when it kind of starts, but he doesn't really fully get engaged in there and kick it into hard drive until like, until he sees fucking not Clint Eastwood.
Right, because I feel like the big thing is he thinks part of being a hero is the whole badassery of it, right? But I feel like what they're trying to show in this movie is he was a hero for the town for like most of the movie, even though he wasn't he was a goddamn buffoon for most of it.
Symbol of hope. Right,
but he was doing something. He was causing a ruckus. He was giving change out. He was doing something. Right, it wasn't a stagnation. Shout out stagnation. Dark Souls 3.
A nation of stags. They're all deer. I don't know.
Hey man, I'm just living my life. All right,
I'm just living my life. Y'all are living in it.
Jobe can agree. Jobe, just say agree.
Agreed.
Yeah, he's agreeing to the fact that Rango has so many good quotable lines. Like every other one is just
would shoot the ugly right off your face.
They're just so good. Oh man, not many people.
Yeah, there's a bullet in here.
Yeah.
That kid.
Oh, and the soundtrack is so good too. They have so many good jokes. One of my favorite bits is where they're like, we need to get a posse together. And they get a posse together and they're like, now what? We ride, and then and they're riding off into the sunset. And they're like, "Where are we going?" Shit! So they came back to get the trail, and then they go, "And now what?" And now we ride, and they're finally doing it. It's so good. Side characters are great. Love Beans. Love the Crow.
Crow's good.
Rattlesnake Jake's top tier villain.
Oh yeah,
side villain. He's not like the main villain. Like the
He's like an anti-hero almost. I think he's just going where the money is. And where his reputation will lead him.
It makes him an anti-hero.
I think he's still the villain, but he's like the sub-villain. He's like the mini boss, right? The big boss is the turtle.
Do you think he's redeemed though? Like, do you think at the end there he's like,
Nah, he just realized he was getting played. Because he got betrayed by a turtle. Turtle had it sideways on his ass, and he's like, one bullet. And then that busty frog comes back. We did one bullet, Bill.
Fucking busty frog, Christ. I know who you're talking about. Tree? I just hate it.
I don't fucking know. It's a distinguishable feature.
Booby frog. There you go. It's booby frog.
Let's talk about the action scenes. They're pretty well directed, huh?
They're so good.
Oh yeah.
They're so good.
I think we can all agree this movie is really good.
The first big action scene is the one with the fucking other frog and the hawk, right? Like, that's the one you're gonna say, right? Or they're running away from the hawk.
Yeah, but the first one that I'm really like, ooh, that's good stuff, is when he makes it to dirt and then the hawk shows up.
Yeah.
He's just running through these buildings, and this bird's just crashing through them, and the animation on all like the wood splintering and it's smashing through stuff, it's all very good.
Right, because it kind of feels like, yeah, this place isn't really well put together, you know, like they're not too concerned too. The village people, the townspeople of Dirt, they're all just like, yeah, it'll happen. And then you get to see them, you know, their eyes light up when they see this man tearing around town, giving the bird what's for. But we know, huge use of dramatic irony. It's dramatic irony, right? When we know something, the people on stage don't.
You've asked this question, I think, 3 times now.
Okay, keep a
No,
tally.
3, Brayden. So this is the first time.
It's a new bit,
Oh,
Trace.
sorry. I forgot we're not continuing the bits that we've been doing the
A whole
entire episode.
new bit.
Joe, but I sang that.
But anywho, right?
Follow us on
It's
Snapchat.
a lot of this playing with we know that Rango is a fucking fraud, but the townspeople don't know that he is a fraud. Rattlesnake Jake knows, and I think the turtle knows pretty early on he's a fucking
He
fraud.
figures it out.
Yeah.
I think he takes one look at him and he goes, "Yeah, that's a frog."
Wait, this lizards.
One of my
Legendary outlaw.
Water
I read
scarce,
this,
breaks glass.
manga adaptation. And the whole plot of it is this guy gets sucked into another world
Manga.
as a bookseller, right? And he sells books that he thinks are just regular books, right? Like ABCs and shit, but they're like demonic possession books, right? And one of the first customers shows up and he immediately looks at the guy and he goes, "Wait, this guy's a fucking fraud." Right? And it's one of those things where it's like a fraud knows how to spot another piece of shit fraud, right? 2 liars can instantly recognize liars. Rango, he just wasn't paying attention. I think he could see the signs if he was paying attention, but didn't pay attention. But the turtle saw Rango and was like, "Oh yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. We can just put him up there as a sheriff and he can just hang out. You know, he'll be our little puppy. He'll dance, little boy, dance."
I'll never dance for you.
I don't know. I think Rango starts to get the turtle's number pretty early on. I mean,
I think it's after
what is that first line?
the mole rat scene. Once they find the water's all gone already. Like in the,
I feel like that's where he's starting to suspect it. Yeah.
what does he find? Because it's
'Cause he
like
goes to play-
the thing
he
is
go-
the banker's dead. He
Yeah.
drowned. They didn't kill him, and they found the thing empty. So it's
Right,
like,
and then he goes to play golf with them, and
yeah. That's a great action scene though. The
It
one with the
is.
fucking mole rats and the bats just combust like they're actual planes. You know,
yeah.
that's they're like, ah! You know, the fucking mole rats.
Dude,
come
if
out
we
on
had some
miniguns on the
if we had
bats.
some fucking Fortunate Son playing there,
Did you all ever
Pretty
read
cool.
the books, Gregor the Overlander?
nope.
Is that just Suzanne Collins' first hit before Hunger Games? Essentially,
that?
a lot of stuff happens, but
Oh, cool.
they ride bats around as their main form of flying transportation. They're under New York, so they have to use the creepy crawlies. So they ride.
she
bats
really
and
went
cockroaches.
from ride bats to children killing each other in a dome.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay, but bats
Under
are
the
like
dome.
Thunderdome. I feel like the movie's art direction was fantastic for the most part. Even though it's all desert, right?
It's a movie about a talking lizard.
Don't get any better than that.
the actual like times where you see either water or like other colors besides brown, you know,
Yeah.
besides dirt, is like, wow, you know, like when they're actually inside a house or like at the banker, right? Or the turtle.
It's all really
place.
dull, yeah.
You're like, okay, he's got a little more je ne
Panache.
sais quoi in here.
Nice.
You might no, it's not panache.
That's good.
Not
Je ne
panache.
sais, that one's good.
Say it.
Je ne sais quoi?
Uh,
Or panache.
I don't think
or
you said it loud
Panaki.
enough for all your friends to hear.
Je ne sais quoi?
oh, and then who's the fucking genius that decided, hey, let's put a Gatling gun on a fucking
I don't know, but
snake? And who's the guy out here
the
making little tiny guns for little mice?
the most unrealistic thing, but the coolest fucking thing ever. Because where did the bullets go? Does he eat them?
Out from the gun?
No,
The
but like,
fuck?
where do they come from?
Yeah.
Huh?
The gun?
All right.
Dumbass.
shoots it
So
out
we're,
of the
no. He's done it. He did it. So we're doing this fun thing where we know exactly what Trace is asking, yet we are actively answering it wrong to make Trace seem foolish.
Trace is foolish.
No. No. Stop.
Marshall holds incredible power here. If he deems you to be a fool, then you are
This
a fool.
sucks.
This does suck. Let's take our patented break and cool.
Yeah, in a minute and 30
man.
seconds we can. Oh, never mind. Jobe already started. Break time. I'm clocking out.
Jobe, you mentioned you had something you wanted to
And
talk
I'm
about.
Lil Nut.
Trace, we already made you look foolish once. Don't make us do it again.
No.
I just think
Stop.
I don't know who should get more credit. Like
Johnny.
every
Depp.
scene with the turtle, with Rattlesnake Jake, and even a lot of Rango scenes where he is
Rango.
successfully pulling off the badass character stick. But like the actual dialogue between all the characters is really very good. Like I don't know, you get such great lines as one last bullet for one last outlaw. And it's like, oh, put that on
It's
my
a good
tombstone.
scene.
I think
He was
that
hit by a
that's
truck.
part of it is it feels like a Western, right? But it doesn't the dialogue isn't necessarily like ripped from a Western, you know? It's like
But it sounds like it could be.
it sounds like it could be, but they're not too many words that are specific to what I don't know, just like the random words that you hear from West. They're basic words anyone can understand. It's just it's the end of the era. That's what I think they're going for, kind of. But they're
Sounds
still
like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
Damn,
good
shout
game
out.
too. Good. Whoever doesn't like Red Dead, I don't know what you're missing.
Hey,
but it's amazing.
Madison,
Oh
please,
shit! Hey Madison, how's it going?
please pause the episode for just like 30 seconds and rant about these horses.
Oh yeah, no,
please.
the world needs to hear.
The world needs to know. No, yeah,
Perfect.
I agree.
I just think we should appreciate how all of the characters feel like the animals they are.
Okay, so this is funny, the audience, because Trace said that'd be stupid to talk about. He said that'd be idiotic.
Yeah, I'm Steve Jobsing you. You came up with a good idea, and I went, no, that's stinky, so I can take it. And now I look like God.
Look out, Trace! Your neck. The collar of your shirt is crawling up your neck.
Oh no.
Anyway, we both me and
cool
Joe
bit.
agree that the dialogue is phenomenal. We
Agreed.
quote this randomly, you know, we'll just send each other gifts when they you know, we'll just it just all sounds good. Whenever Rango is in his moment as a performer, for example, the beginning where he doubles down, right? He tells them, yeah, I killed them Jenkins brothers. I did it with one bullet. And then the bitch in the back, all 7 of them. And he's like, fuck yeah, I did. Let me tell you how.
What about the 7th one?
He died of infection. It's just every single line that comes out this goddamn lizard's mouth is good.
I don't know.
You got...
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so then you got the fucking wise sage of the spirit of the West, which may not be a hallucination, may be a hallucination, coupled with the goddamn roadkill armadillo, Alfred Molina, who they just both are helping guide Rango on his path to wherever he needs to be in life. They're trying to send him in a direction, you know what I'm saying? But their dialogue of the sage wisdom, they're the Gandalf, the fucking Dumbledore, fucking Obi-Wan, right?
Oh.
Rango is the Harry Potter, Frodo, fucking
Luke
Luke Skywalker going on this goddamn adventure. Rattlesnake Jake is a snake with a Gatling gun on his tail, and that can't be replicated anywhere else.
I would say
It can?
Rattlesnake Jake is
Oh.
the Vader to the Turtles Palpatine.
Yeah,
Truers,
that's fair.
Truers.
That's true.
Because Vader is the one giving him the business, and Palpatine just steps in at the end
Yeah,
and gives
but
him
he's
the
still
sauce.
he's still willing to fuck over Vader whenever he needs to.
True.
I could definitely see
So we could
Palpatine
the
and his turtle
galaxy.
switching places. Control the water. You control everything.
Okay, the only thing that's a little weird for me always is them goddamn trees just listening to roadkill and turning the valve. And I'm just like, oh yeah, shit, they want the water, of course. I'm like, wait, trees don't move, you dumbass.
No, but
wait,
like
these ones do.
no, like I got the idea, like, oh, you know, maybe roots would go where like towards where the nutrients is. I'm like, okay, good. Then they start moving, and I go, oh, so it's one of those moving trees. That's interesting.
One of them classic trees that move, you know.
Oh, it's one of those trees that turns pipes so that it can get a glass of water. That's
you know,
cool.
them trees from Narnia.
Yeah,
Classic moving trees.
it's
God,
one of the
Narnia.
I would think probably the dumber jokes of the movie, but I still think it's funny. Where, you know, in the beginning we see him in his little tank, and he has this like headless Barbie doll or whatever it is, and that's his like love interest or whatever for this little play he's doing. And then later on he gets asked if he's ever had a lady friend, and he's like, "Yep, what happened to her? She lost her head." I just think it's a good bit.
Okay, no, what else is a good bit?
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Bean says, I'll give him a ride into town. And then she goes, well, we're here. And they're like a ways away from the town because he won't shut up about the amount of plays and stuff he's got working on. He goes, oh, okay, I'll see you. And she just takes off. It's so good every time. If you guys ever met a theater kid, they'll tell you how much shit they got in the back burner, you know. They'll be like, no, I'm working on a few of these things. I'm in an improv group. I do trivia on Thursdays.
It's Tuesdays. Wait, shit, now I think it's me.
I do podcasts.
Fuck, no, it's
man,
Jobe,
I got a
it's
podcast
Jobe.
about movies. It's my creative outlet.
Speaking of which, Jobe, I can't make it tomorrow.
Back to what Trey said earlier, that was Marshall's point about how the animals feel realistic.
Man, I'm clever.
That
was like 6 years ago.
Dude, all I wanted to say is that snake felt so snaky. I don't know how to describe it. Like,
oh, he's a snake.
I got a snake in my boot.
You got a what in your what?
And
the boot fits.
For me, the best part is it's just the dialogue is so snappy and quick. And if you're paying attention, you get it. It's just like, God damn, this fucking rules. But if you miss a little bit, it might be out of a loop. But then you'll have your friendly Marshall or Jobe or Trace off to the side being like, this is what he said, actually. So it's funny. I would never do that because that sounds like a piece of shit. But maybe I would. I'm still working on it.
One of those dipshits might.
Side of me.
I would hate that.
Marshall's still going through it. Marshall's not sure where he's at on his character arc, if he's going through a growth back to.
Oh my god, I'm like Rango. I gotta get to the other side.
You gotta take a look at Vegas.
The other side.
I think it's Vegas, right?
Yeah, because it's
I
they have those two guys from Fear and Loathing.
Yeah.
From Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas or whatever it is.
Well, I just meant like the actual.
Unless it's Los Angeles.
Yeah. Nope. I don't know. I just remember seeing like Las Vegas stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, that's Las Vegas."
Because Clint Eastwood, but not.
Yeah.
Wait, you see the pyramids? You see Caesar's palace?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's Egypt or not. Okay. Fuck. I just wanted to confirm.
It's confirmed.
It's been a few days since I've seen the movie.
The Mojave.
It is in Nevada. Yeah.
This movie, animation-wise, still holds up 12 years later.
Oh, yeah.
12 years later. We established the 12 earlier. That's pre-lore. It's been established 12 years. Movie still holds up. It looks a little older.
I don't know about that.
Okay, Trace wants picture perfect quality. I'm just saying. You look at it and you're like, this doesn't look like a piece
technically
of shit.
13 now.
I'm gonna kill Trace.
So yeah,
Look at this compared to like Hoodwinked. Hoodwinked has terrible animation.
Oh, great. So we're going back
Hoodwink is
on that,
uglier
too.
than
We've
Sam.
talked about Hoodwink before.
No, we've
Have
never
we?
mentioned Hoodwinked.
We
New
have.
bits.
No, I'm sure we
Hoodwinked's
Yeah,
also
we-
7
we-
years older.
We've never talked about
I
it
feel like we
on
have.
Film Bluffs.
have. Who?
What is Hoodwinked?
What is Hoodwinked but
It's
a cartoon?
It's like the B
Anyway.
movie.
It's not.
The
I disagree.
water looks real good in this movie.
Oh, it made me
what?
really thirsty.
The water.
The
when
water.
Oh, yeah.
it's raining, it has a tendency to really make you.
Man, I feel like all the characters are just so memorable, right?
Oh,
Even
yeah.
like the background, like side guys that don't do
Name
much.
5.
Name
Beans.
5? I can't name them, but I could tell you about them. There's
Tell me
Priscilla.
about the spider.
I don't remember the spider.
How'd you know I was gonna say the spider with the coffin? He's making up
Oh,
the coffin. He gives
yeah.
the teethy smile. You got the chicken with the arrow through his eye, and he goes, "You okay to come?" Oh, this conjunctivitis. It's genetic. You got spoons. You got them goddamn crow I already mentioned. You got the fox. Love the fox.
You got Priscilla.
You got the Gila monster. Who the fuck is Priscilla?
Remember-
She's the
Priscilla,
Busty
the
Frog.
Ah, Busty
You got
Frog.
you
Oh,
got
wait,
the little
that might
girl
be
that's
wrong. I
after
don't know, actually.
Rango's boots.
I
Got the mole
boots.
people.
One called Little Sister.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Priscilla is that little cactus mouse that wants his boots. I still don't know who Busty Frog is. It's been a long journey, but
Busty Frog.
Long journey, but
Boosty
we're
Frog.
here.
Spoons.
I'll figure
the
it out
guy
by
who
the end of
sells
the episode,
beans,
maybe.
and
We'll
he's
see.
got like he's like a owl. I think he's an owl, right?
Maybe you're an
Yeah,
owl.
or eagle.
Remember when the guy at the bank says, "Your father who not get drunk and fall down a mine?"
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. One of my favorite jokes that I just got the last time I watched it. So
Her name is
Couple days ago.
Melanie.
whatever was when they're discussing the
She's
plans
married.
to get him out of the water when they're like drowning, and Beans swallows the key, and Rango says, "I think you just swallowed Plan B." 46 and
Melanie is
Good
supposed to be
try.
19 years old. The Busty Frog.
Who's
There's
Melody?
apparently the
Busty
Busty
Frog.
Frog. Nah, their
Uh,
name is like Sugar or something.
It showed her. It showed like her stats, and it said complexion
Wombat.
fat.
Her stats? What?
Yeah.
Fucking +5 in tit?
I mean, I can give you her stats right now.
No, you don't have.
She's
to.
3
It's
inches
okay.
tall. She's 31 pounds. She's married. Her complexion equals
31 pounds. She's
Uh-huh.
dense.
yeah.
Married.
10 of those is one boob each. Her father is David Gordon, her mother's Aya Gordon, her sister's Hallie Gordon, her husband is Jerry Snuggles, whoever the fuck that is, and her complexion is fat.
Cousin's Jeff Gordon.
Oh, and for diplomacy, she's an ally.
Y'all remember that scene
Okay.
where he walks in, he goes, "Can I have a glass of water?" And they all just start laughing at him.
You want water?
I did a double.
We got cactus juice.
Which I feel like cactus juice isn't probably like, hard on you like liquor
just
would
what
be,
they
but I
call
mean it's
tequila.
that could be,
Oh.
it's funny, but cactus juice was just, cactus.
Maybe they ferment it.
That could be.
It could. You can
And,
use natural
and
sugars.
you know what? I'm actually going to go as far to say that's probably true.
Because you can use the natural sugars in cactus juice coupled with
Oh,
yeast
remember
to ferment.
Avatar?
Yeah.
What?
No, cactus juice. When Sokka drinks the cactus
No.
juice and gets all loopy.
No,
I know where
it's-
he's going.
No, it was just Jobe starting that off with a oh. Remember Avatar?
That was you.
That was not
That was-
me.
Trace
That was
looked like a
you. You had
fool.
psychosomatic
Madison-
episode.
Play it back. I'm gonna do it. I'm this close.
No, you can't. That's an old bit.
I don't care.
Old bit.
We're bringing
New
old
bit
bits
is me
back
holding
into
the
the new
orb.
bit.
No!
He's too tall. I can't grab it. Jobe, get on my
Call me
shoulders.
Will Smith the way I be new school. You're Tommy Lee Jones.
Shut up.
And this is
Well,
Wild
we
Wild
busted.
We
West.
all know Tommy Lee Jones is
Young and
the
hot.
best in those movies.
It's gonna be
Some
cut
of the
out.
jokes don't
She-
land.
Okay, and Jobe, you said some of the jokes don't land. Name 2.
Yeah.
Well, there's one where they're like, "You keep thinking like that, your hat's gonna catch on fire," and then his hat does.
Oh, I thought you
That's
meant I thought you
funny.
meant our jokes don't always land, and I was like, that's just simply not true.
I mean,
That is true. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Name 3.
I think a good
Um,
90% of our jokes don't land.
Trace, if more than 3 of our jokes would land, we wouldn't have 6 followers.
That's not true.
Yeah.
I gave you the analytics earlier.
I wasn't
If I
listening.
believed in destiny, I wouldn't
Well,
be
you-
playing with
well,
loaded dice.
You know, Marshall.
Load!
Marshall, to be fair, you were working on
Ooh,
the
wait.
not Excel.
No, I won't call the audible.
Oh, Joe, you
I
can't.
might. Oh, I might though.
Do it.
No, we gotta
Do
we
it,
gotta keep
do
going.
it,
We
do
gotta
it,
go.
do it.
Let's finish this episode. Let's finish this episode, and then
Make
I'll call the
me.
audible.
Okay,
One
Trace.
sec, I'm real eepy. All right,
There's
all
Trace
some
good.
said,
text
Trace said he uses muscles. I'm sorry. He's
I-
a little tired today, guys.
No. You stopped me from talking about this. We're not talking about it now. I moved a lot of boxes up 3 flights of stairs. And down them.
Not to brag, but I lifted up an
Uh,
ottoman by myself.
No, it wasn't. It was like a section of the couch, though.
I click-clacked on my computer.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say your floors. 'cause
You know,
let your toenails go out.
Oh god.
Oh no. I soundproof my floors with a layer of dirt, so there's no click-clack.
You know the Guinness World Record for the longest nails. Just picture that on Marshall's feet, but maybe like an inch shorter.
Yeah,
He hasn't quite
itching
gotten there.
I'm itching my fucking chin with my toenails. I'm like a goddamn chimpanzee.
Marshall is
What the
6'4", but when he trims his toenails, he's 4'11".
Because they curl in on themselves, you know? So it gives me a little bit of height.
And that's also how he's so good at basketball because it also gives him a little spring.
Yeah, I'm like go gadget extendo nails. And
Oh,
I just
gross.
dunk. They all crunch
so
a little.
Aw. It's like he's
There's
just
like a
he's just in
couple of
Space
scenes in this
Jam.
movie where I'm just kind of like,
Back.
eh, does this need to be in here? Like when they all change
Yes.
clothes to put on that
Yeah,
performance
it's
for the
funny.
whole. Is it?
It's
Yes.
because Rango doesn't know what he's supposed to do. All he knows how to do is give a performance.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, I'll distract them, and then we grab the water." Versus
I mean,
going
that's
shooting.
fine, but why?
He hasn't shot anybody yet.
Joe doesn't understand plans.
They all
why wouldn't
listen
he
to him
do
because
a
he's the
performance
sheriff.
Where he gets to remain in character. Why does he need to do Shakespeare?
Because
Because
that's what the
it's-
same performance
that's-
he was doing
Yeah,
earlier.
it's what he knows.
It's what he's been working
It,
on.
oh, sorry, Joe. So he hasn't gotten this far in his
He
analyzing.
spent,
It's
at this
called
point,
a
he has
callback.
spent more time as Sheriff Rango than he did doing 5 minutes
We
of
don't.
Macbeth.
Okay, no, we don't know that because we see him on a road trip, probably moving somewhere with whatever family owned him because those fuckers are okay with slavery, I guess. And he was doing it. We're led to believe that he had this whole thing memorized. He's probably been doing it for a while. He's a performer.
They've been
I don't
practicing
know. That
because he
rabbit
implies
memorized his part immediately.
he
Nah, he can't do
implies
that right off the bat. He's
in
been
the
doing it for months.
beginning that they've been practicing it because they've been saying you're flat again. You're doing your
Yeah.
part wrong. Job, you're looking foolish.
Yeah. But he also says he doesn't know how the plot is supposed to go. This is still in the workshopping phase. I will not be made to look like a fool on my own show. Yes, Trace.
You look pretty foolish right now because he's been doing this for a hot
I
minute.
absolutely do not.
Okay, in the everybody comment somewhere.
Squirters,
Comment
everyone
somewhere
in the
that Madison
comments.
puts here. Does Job look foolish? Yes or no?
Also, how do
New
we feel
poll,
about
new
calling our
poll.
fans squirters?
Wait, sorry.
No.
Say that again. You like laughed in the middle
Just
of
say
it.
no. Just
I didn't.
say
No, I need to hear it again.
How do we feel about calling our fans squirters
Why?
for the rebrand?
Why?
Because it's funny.
No, I doubt it, guys. Everyone stop. Everyone
After
stop.
some
Stop.
careful
Stop.
consideration, I'm with Marshall on this. No.
Two things.
Fucking asshole.
Two things.
Now the
Our
recording's
fans
ruined.
will be referred to as Steve Bluffington.
I'm
And-
gonna say no to that one too, actually.
Nope, it's too late. It's been decided. And I didn't care. I didn't care for the Beans romance. It was too forced. That's all I gotta say. Like out of nowhere, like Rango just kisses Beans on the side of the face while she's frozen. Like that's pretty much a fucking sexual harassment in the workplace.
I mean, well, yeah.
That's true. But
Thank
it's the
you.
West.
Yeah, they hadn't invented sexual harassment yet.
Of course they did.
They hadn't invented HR yet.
Her.
I think there were a couple of scenes where they did have little interactions, and
I
you're
mean,
ooh, maybe Beans wants to go Rango.
I think because he's the only other
Bean.
lizard.
Well, I think they. I don't know if it's forced because I feel like it's set up pretty in a cliche of like when she first is aiming the gun at him when they first meet. Like right from there, it's like okay, that's probably a love interest. It's a cliche of like
Because
you know,
the
annoying each other to oh my god, we're gonna have wizard babies.
only other
It's
lizard.
like how John
Yes, it's the only other
Marston
lizards.
Only other lizard.
It's a race thing.
It's like how
Marshall,
John
we know.
Marston could have macked on Bonnie, but
Yes.
instead he stays loyal to
Yes,
his wife.
Madison, go ahead and take 30 seconds. How do you feel about that part? Because I feel like
She hasn't
community's
gotten
pretty-
there yet. She's in the very beginning. of the
How
game.
is she? Oh my god.
What do you mean how?
Madison. Okay, by the time she's editing this, Madison will have gotten there because it's pretty early in the
Madison's
beginning.
a
Whatever.
gamer.
All I want to say to our
It's
loyal
pretty
Steve
early on.
Bluffington out
That's
there,
not
the
happening.
collective.
No,
No.
no. We'll film. We'll figure out something else.
Can we call them
Workshop some things.
the Jazzy Joe Collective?
I actually like that one. maybe it's the alliteration.
No.
Alliteration.
Have
That's two
A
letters.
name.
It's alliteration.
It's true. No. I mean, it is alliteration with two. Just
Yeah.
like
No. My English teachers in middle school said it has to have three.
Well, here's the
And
thing
you
about
can't
here's
rhyme the
thing.
same word with
No,
itself.
Well,
Found
yeah,
out
that
too.
well that was true, but it also
Okay,
turns out they're
bitch.
stupid.
All right.
Okay,
Joe, what do you think
you
about the
know
movie?
Oh, for the
Two
for
or
the
more
very first-
words that appear close together and have the same initial stressed consonant syllable, like good grief or red rose.
I look like a fool.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean it, man. I apologize.
Red.
Joe, score.
All right, so Rango, despite being very high quality in some areas, it is not a perfect movie. Has some
Ooh.
issues. I christened the first movie to get an 8 out of 10.
That's rough. That's
All right.
that really sucks for you.
Marshall here. I'm gonna give it
You're gonna be killed now.
I'm gonna give it a 10. It was really good.
This one's perfect right off the bat.
Yeah, it's a banger. I
Yeah.
don't know what you're talking about.
So
It's a banger to be sure, but perfect?
I feel
I'm
like
not saying it's perfect. I'm saying it's a 10 out of 10.
so I'm
That's
gonna,
not the same.
I'm gonna say here right now that it does lose a point for one part of the movie in particular because I feel like as a chameleon, he doesn't use the color changing a whole lot, and I feel like I'd like to see a little more color changing. Just have it be part of his personality. Throw it in there somewhere that makes sense, but I want to see more of it. So it did lose a point on there for me. I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Okay, let our viewers know for me and for Joe for to know. A 10 out of 10 is not a perfect. I don't like the professors
10 out
or
of 10.
teachers that's like, oh, I can't give students 100 because no thing's perfect. If this was a rubric, it did everything I asked for it to do. It got all the points. Is it perfect? No. Did it do everything I wanted it to? Yes, 10 out of 10. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
this
it's a perfect
episode
movie.
where Marshall's pointing out all of the teachers of the world.
All right. You know what, Marshall? I'll concede this point if you draft up a rubric.
Rubric? Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the rubric. 10
No.
out of 10, did everything I wanted. 0 out of 10,
No, I
didn't
see-
do
okay.
anything. Everywhere in between is
I
kind of
see where Jobe is I see where Jobe is going with this, and this would have been a good idea back in the early days of Scare by Scare. I think that would have been a great idea. But now that we're not strictly doing horror movies or a specific genre, the rubric would be very biased towards one particular set of films.
Bitch.
Yeah.
So anyways, to
Do
our
it.
loyal to the Jazzy
I stamp my
Jacob
okay on it.
collective, the
Jazzy
Jacobian
Jacob?
the Jacobian Jazzy
What?
All right,
Jalopper.
Is this a
listen here,
Jacobo?
prolapses.
Jonathan Jacobo collective catches everywhere on
Marshall, where can
TikTok
they find
and
us?
YouTube.
No, new bits.
No, that one stays.
On TikTok and YouTube, anywhere you can find us on podcasts. Go search.
Called now though.
We're called something.
Marshall,
we're still workshopping that.
What name should they be looking up to find us on said platforms?
Film Bluffs, I think is what we decided.
If it's not that, you won't
If it's not
find
that, then
us.
shit,
We're
I
off
don't
the
know how you
grid.
found this
Off
one.
the grid.
Look up the title, like you're fucking listening to us.
just
I'll give you
click
my
on the
credit
channel.
card. We're off the grid. They can't find us. See
also
you
know how
later.
Looney Tunes, let Looney Tunes
My
show
dad,
episode
they're
where
not allowed to touch.
Yosemite
My
Sam
car
goes off
is
the grid.
30 feet
He's like,
away.
I go off the grid. I get night terrors. Don't wake me up if I'm having a night terror. Next week, Jobe, what are we watching?
What are we watching next
You're obviously
week,
going to give it a
Jobe?
9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, you bitch.
Next week we watch Ford versus Ferrari.
Ugh,
Wow.
that's
Ford versus
great.
Ferrari. Gripping movie. I've seen it 600 times on
I have
TikTok.
never
Never
seen
watched
it
it all the way through.
because it's a car movie, and it just doesn't particularly catch my fancy unless it's cars, like with the eyes and the windshield.
I can't wait for Jobe to pull out Fast and Furious 1 and for Trace to shit on it the whole time.
I just won't
I
watch
will
it.
Fight him on that.
I just won't watch it
Oh,
because I fucking
you
hate those movies.
don't
I'll pull a
watch
Jobe
it.
classic
You
and
have
not watch
to watch it.
the movie and then just go forward with the episode.
Watch it.
No, because I could give you I could find
Why
3 episodes of Scare by
bringing up
Scare where you went,
bullshit?
I actually
What's
didn't
Scare by
watch
Scare?
this.
I have no affiliation with that.
Okay,
program.
what? You're making it
I'm not
seem,
affiliated
you're
with you.
You're making it seem like in this narrative they would be Jobe at 8 years old doesn't exist because it's in the past.
All right. Well, thanks to all our
What
loyal
is Scare
viewers
by
out there
Scare?
and
Now that
listeners.
we're done with that, it stopped existing.
It's a new
Hey,
bit,
in my
Trace.
defense, I only never not
Dumbass.
watched the movie because it was inconvenient for me.
All right.
Maybe
Well, we'll
Fast and
catch you on
Furious
the
will be
flip
inconvenient
flip
for me.
side. Our loyal Jonathan Jacobos.
Okay.